Welcome everyone to the Rivals of Ixalan full set review. I'm here again with Anthony.
How you going, Brett?
Pretty good, pretty good. Looking forward to checking out Rivals of Ixalan. So for anyone who hasn't seen one of our set reviews before, we're really focused on limited play, so we're going to focus our discussions on how cards will impact on the limited format in draft, sealed, and your pre-release events, get you set up for that first week or two. We also play a bit of EDH, and I have played across the spectrum of most formats, so we'll be able to throw in some bits and pieces of all the other constructed formats, but we really do have that limited focus.
Yeah, and we're really hopeful about this set. Really hopeful.
Hopefully it'll shake things up a little bit. Anyway, we're going to kick off with the multicolored artifacts, because they really direct our color pairings, and we're starting off with a big one, Angrath the Flame Chained. So he is a new Planeswalker for the set. He's 3 black-red for a legendary Planeswalker Angrath. 4 starting loyalty, +1, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. -3, you get to threaten a creature, so gain control of it until end of turn, untap and give it haste. And then if it has a converted mana cost 3 or less, it's sacrificed at the end of turn, so it just gets killed. And the ultimate, -8, each opponent loses life, equal to the number of cards in his or her graveyard. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't really like this card very much. The discard is fine, and especially over a few turns, that can really add up if there's no pressure on Angrath. But it doesn't really affect the board state as it is, which you'd kind of want for a 5-mana Planeswalker. And the -3 is only really killing a small creature. It's not. I guess you can get it in a hit with a big creature that they have, but this isn't the kind of thing that you want in a control deck, which it looks like a control card. And the ultimate is meh. It's one of the weakest ultimates I think I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think for standard, this is just a non-starter. It doesn't have enough power to get into standard. For limited, it's still a Planeswalker, it's still very good, and red-black is an aggressive color combination, so that tick up is going to start draining their life away. So that's probably what you want in a 5-mana finisher. That's the top of your curve, red-black. And the -3, having a threaten isn't a bad thing. I don't mind playing a threaten in most of my limited decks that are in these colors. So I think it's a fine card, but it doesn't really blow me away.
Yeah, I like threatens as well, but they are situational, and not every red deck or every aggressive deck wants one. Yeah, this is a bit of a letdown, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't do anything a Planeswalker is really supposed to do. It doesn't really protect itself, no matter how you're getting rid of a creature. If it's small, it's not good enough for protection. It doesn't replace itself, so it gives you no card value. It does give you +1 card on your opponent if they're discarding, but yeah, not good enough. Sorry, Angrath.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Alright, what's next?
Okay, Atzocan Seer, 1 green and white for a human druid that has 2/3, and it can tap to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Pretty cool. And you can sacrifice it and return target dinosaur from your graveyard to your hand. So I really like this card. It's 2/3 stats for 3. You know, you'll play it. Adding 1 mana to your mana pool is really good for the dinosaur deck, because it lets you fix because they're over 3 colors, and so it's good in the early game and it's good in the late game, because when you don't need the mana anymore, you just go get back one of your big dinosaurs. This is a really good card.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sold because of the color combination. Green-white wasn't the primary dinosaur colors, and you don't want you fixing in your splash color. White was usually the splash on red-green. So maybe we can push dinosaurs more into green-white, but historically, in Ixalan originally, it was green-red with the big dinosaur colors.
Yeah, and red-white was the more aggro one. I guess green-white was dinosaur focused, because all your big dinosaurs were in green, and you had like the best dinosaur in white, which was the territorial hammerskull. So I mean,
yeah, I can see it. It's just
the other thing, it lets you splash as well,
yeah.
like and play 3 colors.
Yeah, if you got a couple of these, you can definitely play your 3-color Naya dinosaurs, which you're going to need the fixing. So good card.
Yep.
All right, tell me about the giant sphinx.
I don't know about much about the lore, but we'll talk about the card. Azor the Lawbringer, 2 double white, double blue. Legendary creature Sphinx. It's a 6/6 flyer. And when it enters the battlefield, each opponent can't cast instant or sorcery spells during that player's next turn. Then Sphinx is rev when it attacks. So, which is whenever it attacks, you may pay X, white, blue, blue, and if you do, you gain X life and draw X cards. So, big and flashy, but ultimately, you're probably not picking this in the first 3 picks of Limited. Because it's just way too hard to cast, and the effects are not that relevant.
I don't know, unless there's a good uncommon, I'm probably just picking it because it's big and fun and splashy. It's probably not the spikiest pick to take Azor, but it's so cool. At an FNM draft, I'm just taking the awesome mythic and seeing if I can get there.
It's double white, double blue.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
There's a very low chance of playing it if you first pick this card.
I mean, there was a bit of hype for this on Standard. I don't think it's good enough for Standard, just because that protection is only good for 1 turn, and it's the opponent's next turn. So if they have an instant speed removal, it's just getting used then. I don't
or on your turn, on your following turn.
Yeah, I don't think this is ever going to get to attack.
No. And even if it does, I mean, the best thing about Sphinx's Rev was that it was instant speed, and this uses up your mana during your turn, so... Yeah. I don't like it at all.
As far as
it's nowhere near Standard, yeah.
No. As far as the character, I mean, I'll go through the obvious lore that most people probably know about, but some may not. Azor is the leader of the Azorius Guild from Ravnica. They were the law guild, law and order, all that sort of thing. And he is apparently the one who caused the binding on Ixalan. Now, I don't think we've seen a full story on that yet, but Azor was a planeswalker, came to Ixalan, decided he didn't want any more to do with Ravnica, and stayed here. And from my understanding, he gave his spark to create sort of the city.
The sun, yeah?
Yeah, the sun, the caged sun thing. Well, not caged sun, because that's a different thing. But yeah, so that's my understanding of how this all works. He's the one creating the binding, and while the planeswalkers are stuck here. So there's going to be some really interesting story involving Azor coming up.
Yeah, he was the one who put in the failsafe for the guild pack, right? And which led to Jace becoming the guild pack.
Yes, yeah. He was,
yeah, so that'll be interesting if they meet.
So a really cool card, but yeah, not that powerful.
Yeah.
Next is a Deadeye Brawler. This is 2 blue-black for a human pirate with Death Touch. It also has Ascend. So Ascend is the new mechanic of the set. It's if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing. For the rest of the game, so that just locks in your city's blessing if you have 10 permanents, and all these Ascend cards usually do something extra if you've got the city's blessing, and in this case, yeah, whenever it hits a player, if you've got the blessing, you draw a card. So it's kind of a Finkel.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask a couple of questions about Ascend, since you're our resident judge.
Sure.
When does this work? If this is on the battlefield and say you've got 7 permanents and then you get 3 more, do you get the city's blessing, or does it have to be when you cast this thing?
It appears to be a static effect because it doesn't say when you cast this or when it enters the battlefield or anything. It's just if this. So it's a sort of intervening. It would probably be a trigger. So if you control 10 permanents, the city's Ascend triggers, but it could happen at any time. It's just when you get that 10th permanent.
Right. That's really interesting. I don't think I've seen anything like that before.
Yeah. So if the word "if" used on a magic card is a trigger word, so like when, whenever, at, and if. In this case.
Right. So if you play a land, this will trigger and go on the stack.
I believe
and you can
so.
respond to it.
I'd have to double check my rules with regards to that.
That's really interesting.
It's also if is also used as a replacement, so it's a bit. I'd have to see the rules release to be 100% confident, but I believe it will trigger when you get that 10th permanent.
Okay, cool.
But we'll have to see.
All right. Well, all that being said, a 2/4 Death Toucher that if you have 10 or more permanents, you get to draw when you hit them. I mean, I like a 2/4 Death Toucher. That's all right.
Yeah. So ignoring the Ascend part, I think it's a fine card. It blocks a lot. And I think that's how you have to... Yeah. So with regards to Ascend, the way I'm going to be evaluating them, is it worth the card without Ascend? Because if it's not, I probably don't want to play it. and Ascend is going to be the bonus. I don't think Ascend is going to be that hard to get to, because I mean this is 5 permanents if you've got nothing other than 4 lands and can play this card. So you're halfway there. Hopefully you're doing other things as well.
10 permanents is a lot, though.
True.
I mean, if we're going just by Ixalan, I did a draft last night, and I don't think either of us ever had, me or my opponent ever had 10 permanents on the battlefield at one time.
Yeah, I think it's certainly something you have to work for, but treasure is going to be a big part of getting that.
So yeah, you can't see, like, rate this card on having Ascend kind of ever. Like, it's just going to be sort of a bonus if that's the case.
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends on your colours. Blue-black's going to be good at control, it's going to be good at getting treasures, so I think blue-black cards are going to be more likely to trigger Ascend than not. Yeah,
you're right, treasures are going to make this a lot easier. I guess tokens as well, if you've got some tokens in your more aggressive decks.
Yeah. Black-white vampires can go pretty wide, so...
Yeah. Okay, so maybe you can get there, but I'm going to be a bit sketchy on these Ascend bonuses.
Alright, so let's Ascend. Let's keep going. Anyway, Deadeye Brawler, pick it because it's a Death Touch 2/4.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Direfleet Neckbreaker.
2 black and red for a 3/2 Orc Pirate, and attacking pirates you control get +2/+0. So really aggressive. The stats are a bit, but you'll know when you want this when you're in the deck, when you're being aggressive. I'm not huge on it though.
Yeah, I mean, a 5/2 on attacks is no joke. And the best part of this, I think, is that it's what we call it has haste almost, because it's attacking pirates. Every pirate on the field, you play this before combat, and all of you guys get the buff straight away. So this can be a huge game changer in Limited, because you build up your board of pirates, and then turn 5 comes around, you drop this guy and just swing in for 1 million. Yeah,
I can see this card being very swingy. Sometimes it can just not do anything, because even a 5/2 for 4 isn't not a card we really want to play. No. But if you've got a bunch of other pirates on the battlefield, it can really just put the game out of reach for your opponent.
Yep. And each of the tribes has a lord, so this one being a pirate lord, you certainly only want this in a pirate deck. It's not going to be good enough unless you're getting that bonus.
Yeah.
Alright. Next we have Alenda the Dusk Rose. She is a vampire knight for 4 mana, 2 white-black, has lifelink, and whenever another creature dies, she gets a 1/1 counter. And if she dies, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink, where X is Alenda's power. So for each of her power, you get a vampire dude when she dies. And this seems interesting. I certainly like this for EDH. The vampire decks, which, I mean, there's a vampire precon, so that goes straight into that one. Lots of things gonna die. For standard or for limited, I'm not so hot on it, but...
No, I'm not really a fan of this at all. It's a 4 mana 1/1 lifelink, like on an empty board, so it's not really putting in the pressure. If your board's kind of stalled up a little bit, you've got stuff attacking past each other, then, I mean, it's gonna dissuade blocks, I guess. But, I mean, that's not enough for a 4 mana card, and it's not something I'm going to pick early.
No, I mean, 4 mana, if you're in some kind of a vampire deck and you just want vampire density, maybe you want this card, but this is not an early pick.
Yeah, no, I don't think so, which is a shame for a mythic.
Yeah. But EDH shenanigans all over the place. I mean, it's equal to her power as well. It's not just the counters. So you give her any kind of buff, any kind of increase in power, you're getting more vampires. So you get a nice little vampire pinata here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Alright. Next Planeswalker.
Whiteley, Radiant Champion. 2 green and white for a 3 loyalty Whiteley Planeswalker, Legendary Planeswalker. +1, put a loyalty counter on Whiteley Radiant Champion for each creature you control. Okay. -1, target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. And -8, you get an emblem with whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. What is this? Is this like a like the precon?
Is this the dual deck one?
Yeah,
the Planeswalker deck one. No, this is the set one, and it's. I mean, the plus is the Gideon effect that you get loyalty for every creature, and you could get big. I guess you can be adding that up to 6. I guess by turn 4, but Yeah, it's this 5 or 6 loyalty Planeswalker that doesn't do very much.
Makes your guys big, I guess, and then you can get...
Well, it might make your guy big, it might give your guy +1/+1.
Yeah, this is not something I'm going to pick highly either.
I think I'd rather take Angrath.
I can't believe I'm saying it, but yes, I think so too. This is bizarre. I don't know. I don't even get this. Like, I don't know what's happening with the story with Whiteley, but give her red back.
Yeah, she was slightly more interesting with red. Yeah.
Yeah, get angry, Whiteley. Come on.
I mean, it's cool art. She's got the awesome giant dinosaur in the background.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's some good EDH decks. Green-white likes to go wide in EDH, so that this can become a really big Planeswalker very quickly in that format. And getting that ultimate, the ultimate is really powerful because just having that glimpse of nature effect, replacing every creature you play, is cool. But for any sort of competitive structure, this is not a good card.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed in this. Yeah, and it's just an aside from Whiteley. Okay, we don't like her, whatever. But usually with the the Planeswalker decks, they showcase the Planeswalkers that are in the set, but Vraska's in the Planeswalker decks and not Whiteley.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting that they changed that up.
Yeah, well, that's okay. The other one, I guess I'm looking at this thinking, you know what? I'd rather have Samut than this card. Samut dealt damage at least. Could kill something.
Could kill a couple of things. Yeah, I've 2-for-1 to people with Samut.
Yeah, and she was not considered a good Planeswalker either. So
yeah, they're doing a good job.
The ball on this one.
They're doing it. Well, they're doing a good job of creating Planeswalkers that you don't want,
that's their intention.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get the profile of Planeswalkers down a little bit. I don't know, because Jace was terrible in the last set. Whiteley was really good in the last set, but these two are just really sort of underwhelming. Maybe they're just trying to decrease the power level overall of Planeswalkers.
At least Jace made it 2/2 in the last set. Come on.
Yeah, but it was still bad. I mean, I had one and I went off once, and that was cool. But yeah,
we're moving on. Like, don't even play it in limited.
Yeah, no, don't.
All right, Jungle Creeper. This is kind of cool. This is a 3-mana 3/3, so 1 and Golgari, so a black and a green for an elemental. 3/3, good stats, 3-mana 3/3, and then 5 mana, just get it back from graveyard to hand. So it's just gonna give you that grindy long late game if you need to win in the late game.
Yeah, really grindy, but that's cool. I mean, it's a 3/3 for 3.
Get your board stalls going, get your City's Blessing going, so you can survive to the late game.
I don't know if there's something you can do with if there's like sack abilities or something on creatures. I haven't looked through the whole set yet. Well, we will, but yeah, that might be something that this card can abuse.
Yeah, just good solid limited play. Looks like green-black is going to go long, is the indication here from the uncommon gold card.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright. Bittersweet Merfolk.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool. Is it Kumena, Tyrant of Orazka? 1 green blue for a 2/4 legendary creature Merfolk Shaman. Okay, tap any other Merfolk you control. This creature can't be blocked this turn. Then tap 3 untapped Merfolk you control to draw a card, and then tap 5 untapped Merfolk you control to put a +1/+1 counter on each Merfolk you control. So, this is the Lord that people have been waiting for, I guess. This is pretty good. I mean, more so for standard than for limited. So,
I mean, this is the second best Merfolk in the set.
The second best?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll get to the best. But this is pretty good for a dedicated deck.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a $15 card currently on Star City. That's the American, so you're looking at over $20. If you're opening this up, it could definitely see play in Modern, just because it's an unblockable and draws cards so easily. And one of the things that the Merfolk decks often have trouble with, because they're aggressive and they're tempo based, is they run out of cards. So this is going to help build you up again in the mid to late game. Yeah, just really solid card. 2/4 for 3 mana. It's a big butt. It's going to be able to block if it needs to.
Yeah, they're good stats. Yeah. I like this card quite a bit.
So really good. Definitely pick that up just for the value, and I believe Green Blue Merfolk was one of the best draft archetypes in Ixalan originally. So
Yeah, if you got in there, yeah.
yeah, so this is going to be a strong card for limited as well.
Yep.
Next is our Legion Lieutenant. So there's a few of these. As I mentioned, there's a few lords. Legion Lieutenant is the Vampire Lord. It's very straightforward. It's a 2/2 for white-black, and other vampires get +1/+1. Which, of all
That's
the
good.
lords, this is pretty important because the vampires are really good at making 1/1 lifelinkers, and turning them all into 2/2s is a huge boon for them.
Yeah, that is really big. Yeah, you're right. This card is really important just for limited sake. So not just this card, but all of the lords. Ixalan was so bad because you didn't care about the tribes that much, other than that the cards just didn't work with outside of the tribe. I won't go into it, but it was just you're very siloed off. So you needed cards that really cared about your creature types, and there just weren't a lot of them in Ixalan. So having them here is just great. It's really good to see, like, oh, we got vampires now, so I actually care about the creature type vampire, not just, you know, random other stuff.
Yeah, sure. And I think they've done a good job of correcting a bit of a mistake they made in Amonkhet, where they had a bunch of zombie payoffs in one set, in the set you drafted first, and then all the important zombies in the next set, so you didn't know if you were going to get there until you were drafting pack 3. Here you've got a lot more of a spread of payoffs and sort of cards to fill in all the slots of vampires and merfolk across both sets, so hopefully that'll help the drafting a bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, yeah.
So you can go into vampires in pack 1 and pack 2 and know you've got enough.
Yep. And this is a good card, 2/2 for 2, and gives you buffs all your other guys. This is a good card.
Yeah,
pick
very
it.
good. Probably not early, not until you know you're in vampires, but
Yeah, but if I saw this like pick 4, I'd think vampires are open.
yeah. All right, let's keep moving. This is the best merfolk in the set because it's really simple. It's exactly the same card as we just saw, except it's green-blue for other merfolk you control get +1/+1. And this, more than anything, is going to push green into modern merfolk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a simple lord. It's a 2-mana 2/2. It gives all the merfolk +1/+1.
I do like it. It's got 2 power, so it goes into Azuri. No, but this actually makes me kind of interested in merfolk in constructed. So standard and maybe even modern.
Yeah, I would like to play merfolk in standard. I just worry that it's going to cost about $200 to get that deck.
Yeah, maybe.
As I said, the Mythic is already at 20. If it does well at any sort of constructed events in the near future, that's going to go up. So, yeah. But it's a sweet card, and I'm looking forward to playing merfolk in whatever format I can get into.
Yeah, me too. This is cool, and the artwork's beautiful as well.
Alright, let's keep going with the Protean Raider.
1 blue and red for a 2/2 Shapeshifter Pirate. It's a rare, and it has raid. If you attack with a creature this turn, you may have Protean Raider enter the battlefield as a copy of another target creature on the battlefield. So it's a 3-mana 2/2, or if you attacked, it's a clone. Okay. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I like clones, but you got to work for it.
It's a dinosaur pirate.
It's a what?
Look at that art. It's a dinosaur pirate.
I can't even make out what is going on there.
It's
okay, now I see. Yeah, now I see. Yeah.
Into a dinosaur.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. I see it. Yeah, that's weird.
So yeah, I think it's an interesting card. I mean, a 3-mana 2/2 isn't particularly good, but a clone can be good, and it's usually going to be the best thing on the board when you play it. And you can usually chump attack if you have to get raid going.
Oh yeah, I mean, you do that when you have to.
So yeah, Protean Raider, decent. Probably not the first pick, unless the pack's pretty weak, but...
Yeah. I mean, I do like clones, so I'll probably take it first.
Alright. So next we have the Raging Regisaur. This is a 2 red-green for a 4/4 dinosaur, and whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player.
So this is to set up Enrage, I guess?
Yeah, you can trigger your own Enrage. You can sort of just ping in for an extra damage sometimes.
Yeah.
Good solid. You know, red-green not doing anything crazy here. It's just big dinosaurs still.
Yeah, stomp your face. I don't like Enrage as a mechanic. It just seems too, like, the payoffs weren't really there, and it just felt like it was just part of the scenery. Like, when this creature dies, you get a tiny little benefit. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but
I feel like Enrage
like
enablers were fairly light on. We didn't have a lot of good ways to trigger Enrage, so if this is a pretty good way to trigger an Enrage, or something like you play an enrageable creature after this one and then attack and ping it, because it's not going to be attacking anyway. This could be worthwhile. Plus, it's just a 4-mana 4/4.
Yeah.
Fine.
That's why I like it, because it's just going to stomp face, and that's what you want your red-green decks.
Alright. Next, we have a Relentless Raptor.
This is an interesting card. Red and white for a 3/3 dinosaur with vigilance, and it attacks or blocks each combat if able. Oh, I hate those words, but this seems powerful to me.
That's really weird. I mean, it's got so much information on it. It's a red-white for 3/3, so 2-mana 3/3 is big. It has vigilance, which is ridiculous because it can attack and block every turn. But then it has to attack and block every turn. So yeah, I know. It's just going to be ways to play around this by just attack with a 4/4 and it has to block.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I like this. Maybe it's just because it's so different to what we've seen before, but yeah, I hate those words. I'm gonna enjoy getting people with this and just gonna be like setting things up and forcing them to do something with it. So yeah.
Then there is a somewhat of a cathartic sort of experience where you don't have to think about this one. You just play it and attack.
And in the really aggressive decks, I think it's going to be good. But it's not something you're going to pick up until, like, maybe even trying to wheel it, because only the really aggressive decks are going to want it.
I also really like this with combat tricks, and red-white has a lot of combat tricks, because your opponent can't guess if you're bluffing or not, because you have to attack and you have to block. So every single turn, if you've got a combat trick up, you're just going in with it. So I think you're going to get people quite a lot with this.
Yeah, you definitely can.
It's a good card. I think, yeah, I'm gonna want to play that a bit. Next, we have the Resplendent Griffin, and despite its art, this is actually a blue-white card, 1 blue-white, for a 2/2 flyer, which is fine, 3-mana Windrake, and Ascend. So normal, if you have 10 permanents, you get Blessing, and when it attacks, if you have the Blessing, put a 1/1 counter on it, which, if you have Ascend, this is ridiculous, because it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
But it's not even that ridiculous, because by the time you get Ascend, like, both players go like 7 mana on the battlefield, and then you're playing a 2/2 for 3 mana. So, I mean, it's going to be really late in the game.
You're playing this on turn 3 as a Windrake, and then eventually getting Ascend, and it starts becoming a real threat.
I guess if you're playing this on turn 3 and they're not dead by like turn 8, sure. I just don't think Ascend is going to be really relevant on this card.
I think it'd certainly win more, but it's one of those things that will end the game. It's got a bit of extra utility above being Windrake.
Sure.
I'm
treating this as... Sorry?
A Windrake is good, right? A 3-mana 2/2 flyer. Happy with
on 2 colors?
Even
not.
So.
Yeah, it's fine. It's we'll see if blue-white's a little bit more supported in this set. I think it will be. But I'm not too excited about this card, to be honest.
I certainly hope blue-white is supported, because I'm first picking Azor and wheeling this. Right.
That's the way. Go for it.
Alright. Seashorn Ceratops. What is this?
Green and a white for a 2/2 dinosaur at rare, and it has Enrage. When it's dealt damage, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. When is this ever happening? Like, you really have to work for that. Like, when is it getting dealt 1 damage?
Hang on, it's...
Yeah, alright.
It's right there.
I guess I'm talking about limited, but that doesn't seem very good to me at all.
No, I think if you can trigger that Enrage just once, that's the end. Because 4/4 with Enrage then becomes a 6/6, becomes an 8/8. Like,
yeah, Yeah, I see that.
You gotta get it once. I mean, and it's not a bad card otherwise. It's a difficult to cast bear, but it's still fine.
Yeah, it's a difficult to cast bear. That's how I'm looking at it. And I think most of the enrage triggers are going to be in red as well. So this is going to be a bit tough, this one, unless you're in 3 colors.
Yeah. No, I think
Yeah.
this is not a first pick card, but I'm not unhappy to have it middle of the pack.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Decent little card there. So next we have the Stormfleet Sprinter. This is a 3-mana 2/2, so not a great start. But it has haste, which is okay, and it can't be blocked. Now we're getting into some serious territory. 1 blue-red, haste, can't be blocked 2/2.
This is very, very good.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Sky Knight Legionnaire, 2/2 flying haste, and this is just better than that.
Yeah, I mean, just can't be blocked is great words. And because it has haste, the extra mana doesn't even cost you that much, because it gets to attack straight away.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
play it
no,
on turn 3 and they're dead.
I don't think that's a problem at all. I don't think you look at this stats and be like, oh, it's a bear with haste and that. Because it's unblockable, it's so much better than that.
Yeah, carries enchantments pretty well. It carries equipment pretty well. Yeah, really good card. Pick this one up early.
Yep, this is a really good card, and it's kind of interesting that it goes away from the spell based for blue-red, which is nice to see, and is good for raid.
Yeah, oh, it's so good for raid, and blue-red is really the raid pirates half of the pirates deck, whereas the blue-black is the treasures half, so having something that can reliably trigger raid is going to be excellent.
Yeah.
Get your clone in.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited
clone
for
this
this
and have 2 of them.
Oh, that's sweet, yeah.
Alright, next is the big guy.
I'll let you talk about this guy, because he is a powerhouse in EDH.
This is massive. So this is Zakama Primal Calamity, and what a calamity he is. This is a 9/9 for 9 mana, 6 and Naya, red, green, white. Legendary Elder Dinosaur, has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample, so all of the combat stats you need. And when it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, untap all lands you control. So you can't cheat it in, but if you cast it from your hand, from your command zone, untap all lands you control. Then it has 3 abilities. It needs more stuff, obviously, because there's still space in the text box. 2 in a red, lightning bolt a creature. 2 in a green, destroy an artifact or enchantment. And 2 in a white, gain 3 life. And because you cast it for 9 mana, you will be able to do all of those once, at least once, when you cast it. So it just has everything.
This is insane, this card.
It's massive. The Command Zone podcast did a deck tech with this card recently, talking about all the awesome things you can do. So I won't go through all of that, but it's basically put lots of lands in play, make 1,000,000 mana, and then cast this.
Yeah, I won't go through all of it, but one of the most basic things I guess you can do is play something like Mirari's Wake, which doubles the mana that your guys make, your lands make. So when you tap all your lands, you've got excess mana, and then they untap and just tap for 1,000,000 again. And then you just go off, clear the board, gain 1,000,000 life, and destroy all your opponent's artifacts and enchantments. Crazy, crazy card.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough sell between this and the other legendary dinosaur we had last set, which name is failing me. But the one
I can't remember either.
The one that puts dinosaurs into play for free. Both
this
of those
has got to be better.
Probably. They go in different kind of decks. This doesn't have to be a dinosaur deck. The other one is a dinosaur tribal deck, so...
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, really sweet card. And you know what, in Limited, I'm just going to try and play it. I'm going to try and get to 9, get all of the ramp, and see what I can do with this, because it just seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, this seems crazy. I'm going to take this as well. I'm going to try and do it. And I'll play 19, 20 lands if I have to.
Yeah.
This card's insane.
I mean, you're going to get to the City's Blessing with this one.
Yeah, definitely.
9 mana plus this. There you go. Job done.
Exactly.
Alright, so Zakama Primal Calamity, really, really awesome card.
Yeah.
We're now into our double-faced cards.
Ooh, Oh, yeah, the double face cards. I like all of these. But, yeah, let's go through them, obviously. Hadana's Climb, 1 green blue for a legendary enchantment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then, if that creature has 3 or more, transform it. And it transforms into a legendary land, as they do. Winged Temple of Orazka. And it taps to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, and you can pay 1 green blue and tap for target creature you control gains flying and gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is its power. I like this card so much, not just because it's blue-green. It buffs your guy straight away, and then after a while, if you get to flip this, I don't really know how you lose if you've got dudes on the field.
Yeah, assuming you've still got your creature. I mean, it's coming in for 8, 9
minimum. Yeah.
It doesn't cost you any mana to do the +1/+1 counter. So yeah, when you attack after this flips, you're just killing them on the spot, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty close too. Like, this is very powerful. A 3 mana do nothing is slightly annoying, but I mean, I guess it triggers that turn. It gives 3 mana +1/+1 counter. This is fine.
Yeah, no, I actually think this could turn out to play like really well. In limited, if you've got you play a bear, they play a bear, you put a +1/+1 counter on your guy, get past. The next turn, you play a creature before combat, and either put the counter on your bear to get through again, or put it on your new creature. I like this card quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm liking that line of play. I'm wondering if this makes it to standard. Again, that green-blue Merfolk deck, being able to buff your guys a little bit might be good. Plays pretty well with the Lord, because the Lord gives all you guys +1/+1 counters. I don't know, there's possibility there.
Yeah, maybe just a one-of. It is a legendary enchantment.
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah, maybe. Just a way to get your guys through. So, yeah.
But I mean, Anthony is first picking this regardless of what else is in the pack, I'm guessing.
Pretty much. Yep.
And I'll probably have a look and see if there's a really good removal spell or something, because I don't love enchantments, but let's see how I like
enchantments have gotten better, like lately. So yeah.
All right, the next one is Journey to Eternity. This is a sweet card.
Oh my god, this card.
This is a 3 mana do nothing. To be fair, it's 1 black-green, enchant creature you control. When it dies, return it to the battlefield under your control, and then flip the Journey to Eternity. Every journey has its inevitable end, but every end is a new beginning in the Atlazal Cave of Eternity. So this is the other side, the legendary land, adds any mana you want, and for 5 mana, 3 green-black, get a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. 5 mana reanimate.
That's insane.
Ridiculous. If you get it to flip, it's incredible, because have you heard of like Sakura Tribelder? Play Sakura Tribelder, put this on it. Sack Sakura Tribelder, get a land, get the Elder back, sack it again, get a second land, you're on 5 mana, ready to return Sakura Tribelder to the battlefield the next turn, and just keep going.
Yeah, this is crazy.
It's awesome. Limited, it's pretty awesome as well, because you put it on your best dude, and if they kill it, you don't care.
Yep.
And you're just not winning a game that can return a creature card to the battlefield every turn.
Yeah, if this game goes anywhere near like mid to long, and you've got this is, yeah, you're gonna win. This card's so good.
Yeah, so I want about 4 of them for my EDH decks, so I'll be first picking them in limited all day.
Oh, and you should anyway, because this is better than any like even good removal spell. Yep. This will win you the game. This card by itself.
Yeah, so really good card. If you can end up in green black with this, or even splash it, you splash this in either of those colors.
Yeah, easy.
Awesome card. Alright, how about this one?
This one I think you have to work a little bit more for, but it's still really cool. Red and white legendary enchantment, Path of Metal. When Path of Metal enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature that doesn't have First Strike, Double Strike, Vigilance, or Haste. And whenever you attack with at least 2 creatures that have First Strike, Double Strike, Vigilant, and or Haste, transform Path of Metal. And that turns into Metzali, Tower of Triumph. Legendary land, it adds 1 color, add 1 mana of any color, which is awesome, and has 2 abilities. 1 in a red and tap. It deals 2 damage to each opponent, or 2 in a white and tap. Choose a creature at random that attacked this turn, destroy that creature.
Nice.
So they're both good.
So this is again another one of those that just ping 1 damage to each creature, not a big deal. Triggers Enrage, which is okay, yeah. So maybe I splash this to get my Enrage going. But yeah, I'm thinking about that whenever you attack. I'm guessing you can have different ones. So you can do attack with a first strike and a vigilance creature and it will go over, or if a vigilance and a haste creature and it'll flip. I'm not sure that's how it works, but I think that's how it's going to be.
Yeah, so as long as 2 creatures have any combination of those words.
Yeah, that's my guess, and I'll have to wait for the rules announcement to be sure, because they'll definitely clarify that. And the land is awesome. Like, if you get that to flip.
Yeah. All of these, when they flip, are really, really good. They're going to end the game. And you can do that, choose a creature at random that attack this turn. They can never attack you with 1 creature.
They can never attack you with 1 creature, and they have to expect that one of their creatures is going to die before you block. You can do this before blocks, or you can do it after blocks, after damage. So you can kill off whatever creatures they have, and then they've got 1 left. You activate this ability, much like any of those sacrifice and attacking creature abilities.
Yeah, that's really important. I forgot about that. That's that's really, really good.
Plus, it's at random, so it's not even they get to choose. It's going to hit something, and nobody knows what it's going to be.
Yeah, you better be going wide when you've got this on the other side.
Yeah, I do think this is probably one of the best on the other side. It has some of the best abilities because they're cheap and easy to use, but it's also one of the hardest to flip.
Yep.
Right,
I agree with that.
Cool card. I don't think this is a first pick one for me.
I don't think so either. I think you're going to need a critical mass of those keywords first.
You've got to build the deck around it.
Yeah.
Next one is a Profane Procession. This is 1 black and a white. So the Orzhov of 1, and it is 5 mana, exile target creature. Awesome. 5 mana, exile a thing, and if there are 3 or more creatures, 3 more cards exiled with it, transform it. So unfortunately, it doesn't say you may transform it.
Yes, damn it. It'd be broken though.
When it flips, Tomb of the Dusk Rose, add 1 mana of any color, and 4 mana to put a creature card exiled with this permanent onto the battlefield under your control.
Yeah, this card's crazy.
Is it?
I think so. You're not a fan?
Well, this is the most 3 mana do nothing of these ones so far, because it literally on turn 3 does nothing for 2 turns.
I guess for me, it really depends on how fast the format is. If it's slowed down to the point where we can ascend, then this card is crazy good.
And you have to hope that Wizards has put the cards in place to slow the format down so that their marquee mechanic can be used.
You would hope so. We'll see. But I really if this gets to just start picking off 3 creatures in a row, in 3 turns in a row, without having to use a card, I mean, and then you get 3 extra creatures that you can cast, or not even cast, but put them on the battlefield later, that's ridiculous. Even if you have to pay a lot of mana for it, the card advantage is unreal.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good in slow things. So I think 2HG, excellent card. For sealed, you probably want to play it because 5 mana removal is going to be good enough. Even if you don't get to the other side, because that's 15 mana before you get to the other side.
Yeah.
But yeah, just exiling some stuff is going to be good enough in slow formats. Limited, I don't think so. I think it's going to be slightly too slow for limited. Standard.
You think so?
Draft. Yeah, standard draft. I think we're going to be slightly too slow.
Nah, I'm first picking this. Well, if it's too slow, I'll find out really quick because I think this card's insane. I'm only going to be playing creatures with like converted mana cost 2 and 3, just gumming up the board as much as I can, and then playing this, picking off their big things or stuff that can't get past my 2 and 3 cost guys, and then
See, you're describing a build around more than just a card that's good by itself. So I feel like this is not a first pick for that reason.
Well, that's where it shines, but I still think this is really good. In a slower game, I just don't see losing when you've got this card.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. We're split on that one, but we'll see how it plays out.
We'll see.
Alright, Storm the Vault. What does this do?
Yeah, this one got spoiled really early. Storm the Vault is 2 blue and a red for a legendary enchantment. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a colorless treasure artifact token with, the spiel. And at the beginning of your end step, if you control 5 or more artifacts, transform Storm the Vault. And the Vault of Catlacan. Legendary land, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, or add blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. So this is really powerful.
Yes, so this is an EDH one more than anything. It's that for those blue-red something artifact decks. So it's going to be pretty easy to flip by turn 4, to be honest. It's your Soul Rings and your Signets and all the rest of it. This is Tolarian Academy. And I kind of have a bit of a funny story with regards to this one, because when Ixalan was spoiled, they showed Growing Rights of Itlamok, and they have the Cradle, and there was a discussion on the EDH forums about the Cradle and the rest of it. And someone mentioned, oh, they could do an Academy. I'm like, nah, they won't do an Academy. That one's banned in EDH for a good reason. It's too powerful. Cut to this gets spoiled, and I'm immediately tagged in that post saying, hey, guess what they made? The Academy. And to be honest, I think it's pretty fair. They managed to give it a good enough restriction that making 5 artifacts before you get this is a little bit harder to do.
It depends on the deck, I guess, but yeah.
Not super difficult, but hard enough that you have to commit a bit more to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like this isn't a turn 1 or turn 2 land where you can have your Academy and then tap for 7 mana on turn 2 or something. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, decent card, Storm of the Vault for EDH artifact decks. Not doing anything else anywhere else.
Nah, don't pick this highly otherwise.
So next is Azor's Gateway. This is a 2 mana legendary artifact, and it's 1 tap, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand. So it's kind of looting, except it doesn't go to the graveyard, which for limited purposes doesn't make any difference. Then if cards with 5 or more different converted mana costs are exiled with Azor's Gateway, you gain 5 life, untap the gateway, and transform it. It transforms into an X mana, where you get X mana of 1 color, where X is your life total. It's ridiculous.
That's so much mana.
So again, like, I'm going to start with Commander, because I think it's where it shines the most. Once you flip this, you're getting 20 mana minimum of 1 color, so you just do whatever the hell you want. And yeah, it's just incredible. And the front side is good. Just looting, 2 mana for the artifact, 1 mana to loot. I'm happy to loot all day and never flip.
Well, you can't never flip, right? You have to transform it.
If the cards have different converted mana costs. So if you exile cards that all have different mana costs, 5 or more different mana costs, then it flips. But if you just keep looting away lands, looting away 1 and 2 drops because you don't need them anymore, then you never flip it. Yeah,
that's true. This card's awesome.
A lot of fun.
It clearly does broken things in Commander. It won't get anywhere near standard or anything like that, but this is good in limited as well, just for that looting. So yeah.
I wonder if a control deck would want this in standard.
You reckon?
It's just a really cheap, easy card filtering effect. I don't think they want the other side, but just the front side.
Yeah, maybe. Again, it might be one of those things that they play one of.
Plays nicely with Azor himself, because you get to just make a whole bunch of mana and then gain a whole bunch more life and cards. You might accidentally deck yourself, to be honest, doing that.
Yeah. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, Alright, let's keep moving.
Golden Guardian. 4 mana for a 4/4 artifact creature golem, and it has Defender. And 2. It fights another target creature you control. When it dies, return it to the battlefield, transform under your control. So you want to fight it with something bigger than itself. and then it transforms into Goldforge Garrison, a land, and it adds 2 mana of any one color to your mana pool, and it has 4 and tap, create a 4/4 colorless golem artifact creature token. That's insane too.
Yeah, it's a very strange card in how
Yeah.
it's to be used, and I think it's probably worth investigating. A 4-mana 4/4 defender isn't a terrible card. It's going to hold off the ground a little bit.
Yep.
And the other side of it is very powerful. 4 mana make a 4/4 as many times as you need to, the rest every turn.
Yeah, that's really good.
But yeah, that ability is weirded so strangely. Worded
Yeah.
so weirdly. I'll get there.
So in combat, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're blocking, say, they're 5/5, you still can't transform it unless you do that ability, right?
Yes, so you have to use that ability, and there's a couple of ways you could do that. If you have to block with this on a 4/4 and chump block something else, you can fight your chump blocker that's smaller than this, and this ends up dying. Then you get your land. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
It's a really interesting card. I'm excited to play with it, actually. This is going to be cool. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'll probably just first pick this for the interesting factor of trying to figure out how it's going to work. And it goes in any deck, so it's an easy pickup.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so that's all of our double face cards, I'm pretty sure. We're on to our artifacts now. We have an Awakened Amalgam. This is a 4-mana star, where its power and toughness are equal to the number of differently named lands you control. Differently named lands.
No, get out of here.
Yeah.
This is not good.
This goes well in my 5-color Scarecrows deck, in the artifact deck, with Reaper King, because it has all differently named lands. So
Sure. No, I can see it getting really big in Thingy, but then again, it's just a really big dumb
yeah,
dude.
this is not that useful or interesting.
No.
This is somewhat more useful and interesting.
Oh, I like the artwork here. Captain's Hook, flavorful. 3 mana for an artifact equipment. It has an equip cost of 1, and equipped creature gets +2/+0, has menace, and is a pirate in addition to its other creature types. That's cool. Whenever Captain's Hook becomes unattached from a permanent, destroy that permanent. So you can only relinquish the hook when you die. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and menace. Yeah, good and aggressive deck. Really good.
It's very powerful. I think they've just priced it out of standard. Only just. In limited, I like this. 3 mana is okay, and the equip cost is perfect. 1 mana to equip is so good.
Yep.
But 3 mana is just outside the range for standard, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Which art do you prefer? So the background is the promo art, and the obviously got the standard art there.
I think I like the standard art more.
Yeah, I tend to agree. That's
just looks a bit more classic.
Yeah, good one. So yeah, the Captain's Hook is good for limited. Be aware that the Captain's Hook becoming unattached includes the Captain's Hook being destroyed. So if the Captain's Hook leaves the battlefield, that ability still triggers. So it used to be sort of how you used to do with Grafted War Gear. Is an old card that had a similar effect. You destroy the War Gear and kill the creature at the same time. So your Braids just became a lot more powerful.
Okay, yeah. So it's not great in constructed then, in standard.
No, you still take that risk, but yeah.
A Braid's
if
everywhere.
you were going to play it. If this was 2 mana, you'd still play it, I reckon, in standard.
Sure.
Alright, next one is Gleaming Barrier. This is a 2 mana 0/4 wall, so it has Defender, and when it dies, you get a treasure.
Boo.
Hey, if you want to get to Ascend, this is what you need. 2 mana 0/4s that turn into treasures.
Yeah, I'll play it with my black-white enchantment.
Yeah.
But yeah,
See?
boring.
Alright, this is
Ooh.
a big card.
So this is where Azor's Spark went to, the Immortal Sun. 6 mana for a legendary artifact, mythic. Players can't activate Planeswalker's loyalty abilities. At the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card, and spells you cast cost 1 less to cast, and creatures you control get +1/+1.
Finally, something to stop the Planeswalker menace in EDH.
Yeah.
Scares and everything.
This. Yeah. I like that it's all spells, not instants and sorceries, so that's really cool. Gives you. Yeah, I mean, this is like 4 cards in one, really. And I'm cool with it, I guess. I don't know.
Completely ignore it in limited and in standard and in everything that isn't EDH, really.
In limited,
6 mana.
I do like drawing an extra card and that being one-sided, and making my creatures bigger. I think that might be worth it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to take this. I think it's just big and slow.
We'll
maybe
see how
in
slow
your
the format
2HG
is.
and maybe in your sealed, but standard draft, I don't think that's going to get there. There's not even any good planeswalkers in the set.
Yeah, I don't care about that. The other 3 abilities are good, though.
Yes, they are.
And just you drawing a card every other turn. Like, I love Staff of Min.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's fine. We'll see how that goes. But again, I'm not that high on it. And you obviously think it's worth putting. You like slow decks, though. You like your blue-green ramp.
Yeah, yeah. So I just
black-white slow decks.
See, I just think that this is just inevitability. You're going to win, like, 5 turns after casting this.
You'd be dead 5 turns after casting this.
Yeah, but you're only doing 1 card. Like, your other cards are going to be, like, control-y.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see how that plays out. I'm probably going to pick it up just because it's an awesome mythic. But
yeah, and you want it in EDH as well.
Yeah. Alright, the next is the Orazca Relic. So this is 3 mana artifact. It has Ascend. It's a mana rock, so it taps for a colorless, and you can sacrifice it to gain 3 life and draw a card, but only activate this ability if you have the City's Blessing. That is pretty terrible as far as ramp goes.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, you only get that ability if you didn't have Ascend. If it was just you could sacrifice and draw a card, I would consider it, because it replaces itself late in the game.
Yeah.
But you're unlikely to need that if you have 2 things.
Nah, this isn't great. Silent Gravestone. 1 mana for an artifact. Cards in graveyards can't be targets of spells and abilities. And 4 and tap. Exhaust Silent Gravestone. And all cards from all graveyards draw a card. No for limited. And yeah, I don't really care.
No for anything, to be honest. Like, if you stop and think this is a graveyard hate card, what is the graveyard deck in standard? It's Godfarer's Gift. Godfarer's Gift doesn't target. So you have to have the full 5 mana. To get rid of this. It's just not worth it, and they already have better things in Modern and etc. than Silent Gravestone to deal with graveyards. So unless there's some kind of graveyard deck we don't know about yet, this is useless.
Yep, sad days. Get out of here.
Next is a Strider Harness. This is a 3 mana equipment. Equipped creature has +1/+1 and haste, and equip cost of 1. That seems really good.
I'm pretty sure this is a reprint from Mirrodin Besieged, if I'm right.
Not too sure. I'll take your word.
Yeah. Oh, I know it was that block, and it wasn't very good there. And there was a lot of metalcraft and stuff going on, so there were stuff to encourage you to play artifacts, and this wasn't very good. I mean, it could be okay, but I am not a big fan of this card.
Mirrodin, was that a fast format, slow format? Like, what do you remember about that?
It's about middle of the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just interested. Was there just better things to do in
probably
than this? Because all of your creatures getting a +1 mana to be +1/+1 and haste seems good to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying a card for it, and it makes all your guys cost 1 more, pretty much, to give them that. Look, it's not a bad card. It's just, I don't know if it's what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
I kind of like this with that red-white enchantment. It's a way to give one of your other creatures one of those keywords.
Yep.
So
getting an extra haste in there.
So that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I'm not sure.
This seems to sit in that sort of right in the middle where I'd be happy to play this card, but I'd also be happy to cut this card.
Yeah, I mean, equipment's always one of those things that comes after creatures removal, and you've only got a couple of slots to play with there, and I don't know if this like ever really gets there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that 18th card sort of thing.
Yeah.
Alright. We have a Traveler's Amulet reprint, 1 mana, sack it for 1 mana to get a basic land into your hand, which is okay. It's been printed since Avacyn Restored and probably before that. That's just the first time I remember it.
Yeah, in slow formats this is pretty good.
Yeah, if you need to fix, you can play it.
Yeah.
A land.
Oh, we're in the lands now. Arch of Orozca. It's just a land and has Ascend. Adds 1 mana or 1 colorless to your mana pool, and you can pay 5 and tap it to draw a card. Activate this ability only if you have the City's Blessing. Ugh, that's a lot of work. I don't really like this card.
No, I just never have room for colorless lands unless they're really good, and this is not really good.
Yeah, I agree.
We have a reprint of Evolving Wilds, some other lovely art. Nice Evolving Wilds. Again, play it. You play it always, right?
Yeah, I think so. Unless I'm like really, really aggressive.
I tend to not pick it up until I need fixing, so I probably won't draft this very much, but I will play it in any deck that I have picked it up in my draft.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't pick it really highly unless I need the fixing, but if I have it in my pool, I'll always play it, just about.
Fair enough. And we have a reprint of all of these dual lands. So these are uncommon two color lands, and they come into the battlefield tapped. They tap for 2 colors, which again, they're fine. You pick them up whenever you kind of need the fixing, or if you're in those 2 colors, you pick them up.
Yep.
Rarely a high pick, though.
Yeah, you're not usually spending a high pick. We'll see how this format goes, I guess. Yeah. Beautiful art on all of these as well.
Yeah, always nice. Good. Looking forward to picking up a couple of those in foil. They might look very nice.
Yeah, that woodland stream.
Alright, and that should do us for all of our cards. Ixalan, Rivals of Ixalan looking pretty interesting.
It is. It's looking really good. I'm excited about it. I was really down on Ixalan, but Rivals I think is going to give it an injection of sweetness. So
yeah. I'm liking the balance. We've got a couple of colours looking really aggressive, a couple of colours looking really slow and grindy, so see which one's going to end up on top.
Slow grindy.
Alright, well, thanks for joining us for all the multicolour artifacts and lands. We're going to wrap it up there, and we'll see you back here for the white cards in a minute.
See you soon.